Good evening. Welcome to Think About It Using Common Sense. It's been a while since I've been on. I think the last time I was on, I was talking about how much thinking about and even being unaware of uh, what's happening to my consciousness, uh, it became overwhelming to the point that it was giving me headaches and I couldn't sleep. So I had to take a break. And the reason I'm back today is the fact that so much stuff is going on. It hasn't ceased. Matter of fact, things have even gotten worse, more dramatic since I took a break. But we're going to have to get to the bottom of this. You know, we cannot keep uh, not realizing what the problem is, and also realize that the problems cannot be solved with guns. And I realize we do need police, we do need protection, but it's a shame that the protection that we need is from ourselves. So just think about that for a moment. Here we are, human beings, and I'm talking about us all, I'm talking about us all. Here we are, human beings, supposed to be of superior intelligence, which I do believe that we are capable of being superior when it comes to intelligence, when we can just step outside the box for a moment and just look what humans have accomplished. You know, humans have broken into the atom and found it to be charged with tremendous, can't even describe the amount of energy that it has. We look around with all the lights that the world is practically lit up, only using a fraction of the energy that's available. We're going into outer space. We have cell phones that we can talk to people all over the world, video cameras that we can see people all over the world with no wires, just energy, sound. And it's so much. All these things are just a tip of the iceberg. I can't even begin to mention the amount of things that we're capable of that's being hidden from us. Uh, I was reading something the other day, and this was about lead and how many billions and billions of years it takes for, uh, I don't want to misquote what I'm saying, but for atomic energy or lead is like the offspring. I'm not sure now, but it's that whole chemical thing in physics. It blows your mind, but it's something that we need to associate ourselves with in order for us to get some understanding. To get some understanding and put some value to human life. And I find this is a problem. This is the problem. And the problem is that, you know, we have reached a point in race evolution that uh, is manifesting that we must change. Because when we think about this, all the things that's happening to the planet and to us comes from us, comes from the leaders, comes from the people with the money. It comes from the people at the top. You and I, we don't control anything, and I'm not talking about color. I'm talking about people at the bottom, the middle class. We don't control anything, and it's apparent, regardless of what people say. What is being manifested is the truth. What is being manifested is bringing out what is in the minds and consciousness of the leaders, regardless of what they say. And if you want to be serious about life, serious about your future, and serious about the future of your children, things have to change. And the only way these things are going to change is your ideas, your thoughts must change. It's no way around it. Because what we are seeing now is being proven that the laws of man is not sustainable. It's not. And you can look around. If open your eyes and look around, and you can see. I was just I give different podcasts and stuff from time to time, but it's not it's discouraging. But then I'm not doing it for me, so therefore I still continue to do the podcast. But people, our way of thinking uh, is not the way. It's not the right way. And if you can look around and you can see it, you know, we have the power to to mold and change our living conditions and change the world for good or for bad. And look what we have done with it. No, just take a look, and this is real. And people, I think our values are just wrong. Sure, we need to live. Sure, I think the system that we're living in is a great system, or it can be, has the potential to be. But you cannot have 1% having all the wealth. You cannot have people that just because they have money, their ideas is paramount. They're not. They're not. And anytime that we take, and people don't think I'm saying this because there are people that don't believe in God, and that's fine. I have no problem with it. But when you take God out of an equation and you look at what God represents, and that's where you put your focus. That's where your focus lies. And you're trying to let what you believe, that's your focal point of your life. And in doing so, and living what you believe, and being aware of the outcome of what's being manifested according to how you believe, is to determine whether or not you're going right or you're going left. And based on where we are today in government, as far as humanity, love for one another, and what has been uh, uh, sown and what's being manifested, people, we are not, we are not living right. And the manifestation of what's happening in the world today is proof of that. And that's something that I don't think anyone has to drill into anybody's head if you can just open your eyes and see. And the title of this podcast is The Fruit of the Seeds. And what that is that we, the people, we as human beings, based on our ideas and our thoughts, we are the manifestation of the soil that we have been planted in, not just today, but for years, for history. That's why you just can't change these things with guns. You just can't change these things, excuse me, with certain programs. You only change these things with a change of mind, with a change of ideas, with a change of thoughts. You know, we just had a few days ago, just had the conviction of 5 police officers, maybe 6 or 7, 8 or 9, I don't know, but uh, it was an horrific example of where humans are. No human being should beat someone to death and take their life. And you know, at first, my thought was, you know, those people should be, they should be jailed for the rest of their life. And my second thought was, how could someone do that? For someone to even do something like that to another individual, they are hollow inside. There is no God in them. There is no righteousness in them. They are animals. They're animals. They don't care. They don't care about their family. They don't care about their friends. Because not only did they take the life of an innocent individual, to take the son from her mother, from his mother, his father, his cousins. The fact that this happened in this day and time among human beings, people, we have a problem. And the problem is not just with those 5, 6, 7 individuals. The problem is with humanity. For these people to think that they could do something like this, no disregard, they had no disregard for human life. None. But this is a norm. This is a norm. Well, why is this? This type of consciousness, this type of disregard for human life, or disregard for the lives of people of color that has been instilled in people. Whereas they have, maybe even unconsciously, that is instilled in them that people of color's lives does not matter. Because I have never in all my life, I've never seen anybody do something like that to a white individual. Never. Especially not a person of color. But I'm not getting into that that racial or color thing. I'm talking about a humanity thing, a humane thing when it comes to treating human beings, the taking of another person's life or an animal's life. I guarantee you, if they had did that on live TV to an animal, I don't even think they would have made it back to jail because people all over the world would have came down on them. We need to think about this, people. We need to think about how far back have we gone. But the problem isn't just uh, people, or just the fact that people are just that way. How do they get that way? How are they being taught? How were they taught? What type of soil was those seeds planted in to make them produce this type of fruit? I heard on the news tonight that uh, some more damaging news about the Supreme Court, about a member of the Supreme Court. We've already had enough, but the Supreme Court's supposed to mean something. But today, the Supreme Court doesn't mean anything. Nothing. Because the people on the Supreme Court do not obey the laws. But yet, they want to project the obeying of laws to the people when they themselves don't obey the laws. Subconsciously, that's entering into people's minds whether they realize it or not. You got politicians, con men, known con men. It's been put all over the news for weeks and weeks. And what happens? The GOP swears him into Congress. What does that do for a person that's out here saying, well, you have to have a certain character in order to get a decent job, but yet the leaders don't have to? What is this doing to people? And then you go, because people break the laws, now you want to come down on them with the police. But yet, police yourselves. This is part of the problem. This is part of the problem that needs to be corrected. Stop sweeping stuff under the rug. Stop thinking that the American people are stupid. Even though they may not see it or they may be tuned out on what you're doing. But subconsciously, this stuff is entering into people's minds and people are developing around that. That's what people don't know. They don't realize why they do certain things. Subliminally, they can put, just like they put advertisement like that, and people don't even realize it. They don't see it. The mind pick it up, the consciousness pick it up, and they'll walk down the street. All of a sudden, they'll want a hamburger and not realizing why they want that hamburger, but it was put into their mind. They didn't even see it. When you have politicians that's coming out and saying that the government, the rules of law should not be obeyed. that the government is rigged, the system is rigged, but it's the same system that allowed you to get into office. But because you lose, it's no good. System is rigged. So now people might vote. Oh, sure, elections is important, but now I don't feel the same. I'm going to vote, but I don't feel the same way about it now because it can be now we don't know if the people can rig it or not. Even though I'm not saying I do not believe the election was rigged, but I'm saying that people that's saying it was rigged, how can you trust them? We don't know what they would do. We had insurrection on our capital. People got killed. You understand? And this was allowed. Apparently, based on the news, it was allowed to happen. High profile criminals in the government do things, go to jail, they get pardoned, they're out. People steal millions and billions of dollars, they go to jail for maybe a year, to a country club jail for maybe a year or two. Who wouldn't go to jail for a year or two in a country club for $4 or $5 million if that's the penalty, slap on the wrist? You know, all this stuff is building up in people and they're unaware of it and they're stressing. People are stressing out. They are. And when the people reach a point, and this is why it's so important to change the way things are being done. If you're going to hold up a law for one person, and that's supposed to be the law, then that law is for everybody. No one should be above the law. No one. And what we are seeing now is the fruit of the seeds that was sown in the past and are being sown now that's going to be in the future later on. And we have got to change. Got to change because all this little stuff you're putting a band-aid. You put a band-aid on a leg that's been amputated. Think about that. You know, I'm tired of talking about bad things, but we need to start changing. You know, it doesn't hurt. I walk out in the street. I see this homeless person that people be walking over. You know what? I'll take time. I'll take time. I'll walk past them, but not walk past them, but I'll walk up to them. I'll talk to them. Talk to them. And I find a lot of them have more sense than these people walking around thinking they have sense. I'm telling you, people that's out there on that street, that can happen to anybody in the blink of an eye. Blink of an eye. You can be out there on the street just like that. That's a fact. Because they weren't always out there. But we have to realize that life is valuable. People don't realize. If you just look around and see what have came from the mind of humans, how this country and civilization has progressed through knowledge and ideas, that tells you right there. If one person can do it, you can do it and even do it better. Didn't Jesus say, what I do, you can do it and do it even better than what I do? People, that's not lying. And that's the truth. But if you don't take some type of action and start believing in yourselves and put value in your life, then look around. This is where you are. This is where you are. And the sometimes the smallest quotes could have the largest amount of impact. You know, so you think, so are you. That's the truth. That's the truth. Nothing. There is nothing unlimited to your consciousness, to your abilities. I just told you about that atom. I just told you about the energy and the power of the atom. We are controlled. We are made up of trillions of atoms. There is enough energy, okay, atoms in a teardrop. If that energy was properly released, could destroy a 6-story building. You're composed of trillions of those same identical atoms, but you have to change. You have to change the way you think. You have to change your way of doing things. You have to focus on yourselves. And God, Jesus, prophets, they are examples. They're telling you what you can do. But you have to do it. Follow them. Follow them. Think like them. And see what happens. Start loving yourself and see what happens. And when you love yourself, you will inspect everything that enter into your mind and your body. If you start loving yourself and you get ready to, and if you was a smoker and you love yourself, really love yourself, you look at that cigarette and throw that thing in the trash and kick yourself. Why in the world I've been doing this to myself? But never forget, as long as you are alive, you can change. You can change. It's when this physical body no longer exists, that's when you're in trouble now. That's pay up time. That's pay up time. Because this physical body that you have is no longer existing, but your consciousness is. So when your conscious, what happens is everything that your consciousness has obtained from now until the time that you have been here, when this physical body ceases to exist, then that consciousness starts to manifest. It starts to manifest those ideas and those personalities and all those things that you did when you was human, whether it's good or bad. Now those things are in a mixing bowl. And the next time your eyes open, you will not know where you are or what you will be. That's why it's so important. You don't realize that's why it's so important, people, to have faith in God, to have faith in yourselves. Because this is not the end, because you cannot sit there and tell me you know when you started living. You can't tell me that. As far as you know, you have been living ever since the beginning of time. Because life knows no death. See, it knows no death. And once you understand that and how to achieve that, you can live forever, but not the way humans are living here on earth. You can't live. You don't live forever in a material world. You see, material things or dead things. Um, but the thing we need to do is we need to change. We need to accept the reality of life, accept the reality of the fact that and when I say we're taking some of the blame too, but the people at the top that's running everything, you know, that's where it is. And we need to change. And I can't, it boggles my mind, to be honest with you, and it always has. It boggles my mind how people so love of money and they're so love of things, but yet when their life is in jeopardy or their life is on the line, they will give up everything they have to live. I don't understand that. Well, I do. I understand it, but you know, they just it's. I think it's a sickness. I really think it's a sickness because even though I know people, I know some people that's millionaires. Okay? Friend of mine, very nice, very very nice person. Guy, and I mean, he shops at a thrift. He shops at a thrift store. You understand? And uh, he lives a simple life. If you saw this man on the street, you would have no clue what this man owns. But he's a nice person. Matter of fact, he bought me a jacket. He bought me a jacket from the thrift store. Beautiful jacket. But the thing that got it was his heart. He thought of me. Wasn't the jacket. But I like the jacket. I wear it. I wear it a lot. But you know, this is what people are missing. It's just simple things in life. Even though if you want to drive around in a Porsche or a Lamborghini or whatever, that has nothing to do with the fact that to be sitting on billions and billions of dollars in wealth and people are starving and the country is in dire need of infrastructure being done. Do it. Help the planet. Help people. Don't pollute people's drinking water just so you can have an avenue to enhance your financial needs and things of this nature. It's sick, man. Millions of dollars you would never spend. Never. And you steal an individual. You don't understand it. But I guess if you're never around people, I guess that's one reason why people don't teach people anything. Because as long as you don't know, well, you don't know, and you can be treated any kind of way. Um, I I have a nonprofit, and it's called excuse me. I have a nonprofit that's called New by Lou Incorporated, and what I do is interior painting and design. I help low income, middle class, one and two, to that if they need their property, their homes painted or infrastructure inside, cosmetic work done. I do it on a nonprofit. And I was even letting the people say, hey, well, look, you know what? This is nonprofit. I'm not, it's not about me making money. I want to help you. If you need some work done, I want to help you. So these people were selling that. They want to sell their house. And if the house looked nice, quite naturally, you can get more money for it. So I go in, I pay, fix it up. House, it was in bad shape. And I said, well, you don't have to pay me. I said, what you do is just, if you whatever you feel and you can do it, I said, just make a donation to my nonprofit. And these people were not low income, but I did it. Did the work beautiful. I mean, patched up stuff, clean it, paint it. I mean, because that's how I am. And they what they donated was I mean, it was what they donated. I don't have any feelings about it because trying to help people, but still. And from what I understand, one person said you could get a room painted for $50. I and uh, and the thing about it, that person didn't even see the work. Didn't see the work, and I don't know where you could get a room painted, especially not the way I paint. You know, you can buy you can buy a car. You can buy a car for $50, but you don't know what kind of shape is there. You don't know if it's gonna run or not. But so that's what happened. So you know, people are people are something. Man. They're something. We have to change. We really, really have to change. If we want things to be better, then we have to get better. But just for him to say that, that was an insult to me. If I had allowed it to be an insult, it would have been insulting. But I'm glad I did it. But anyway, people, things we got to do better. We have got to do better as a people. Hiring more police officers, putting more police officers on the street. Um, it's not the answer. People may feel like it's the answer, but what we're seeing, as I said before, these are uh, the results of seeds that were sown in the past and in the future, and this is the fruit that we're seeing. So it's us. At the end of the day, this whole planet, everything on it, is a result of us, and we need to realize that. And we need to realize that we need more love, we need more respect, we need more uh, just just expressions of love. And it doesn't hurt to say, walk past somebody on the street and say, good morning, good evening. You know, just people just walk past you on the street and turn their head, look down to the ground, and keep from speaking. You know, sometimes it's not funny though. But sometimes I might walk past a woman in the street and she'll grab a handbag. See, I'm very aware of people and aware of things. She grab a handbag, like, well, let me grab this handbag. This guy, he probably could steal my handbag. And that's not necessarily a reflection on me, but it's a reflection on people, it's a reflection on society. This is how people are. But they'll put their hand when they walk past me, they'll grab the handbag. But the man at the top is stealing billions and billions. And that's okay. They vote him back into office. Santos. Santos got elected. This man was a proven con man. People elected him. People re-elected the people that supported the insurrection on our capital. People elected them back into office and expect things to get better. Things are changing. People are changing, but there are no role models today. Religion is losing its power. Christianity is losing its power because the representatives are losing power. You got to have something. People have got to have something to believe in, and they need role models. Because if you don't, you're going to have chaos and destruction. See what's happening, not only to humanity, but to the planet. You've got to love the planet just as much as you love yourself. This is our home. We get oxygen from the planet. This is our home. We get food, everything. We're self-sustaining. We are destroying it. We are destroying it to go into outer space. Think about that for a minute. Living, you have a planet that's us, and we are that. And yet, you're focusing on living in outer space. Beyond me. That is not sustainable. It's not. It's an artificial environment. In an artificial environment, you become artificial. I don't care what anybody says. It's just common sense. Common sense. If you want to be healthy, think healthy. Start doing healthy things. Start putting healthy things into your body. Bam, you're healthy. With uh, an overabundance of people having diabetes, sugar in everything, everything, sodas, 85 grams of sugar in a soda. Somebody told me, said, when you think about a gram, think about a little pack of sugar that you put in your coffee. So you're drinking a soda with 85 of those in it. It's just sugar and all this other stuff that we eat. And then you want to worry about diabetics. Kids are being born diabetics. You got junkies with all these pills and chemicals you're putting in your bodies. And you wonder why you have cancer. You wonder why you have kidney problems. You wonder why you have liver problems. You wonder why you have skin problems. You wonder why your teeth fall out. You wonder why your hair fall out. Think, think. I've lost my hair, but it's growing back because I wore a hat for 40 years and I still wear it. So my hair didn't get in the sun. But I'm not going to shave my head off because I'm supposed to have hair. And it takes a slow 40 years for me to lose it. So I'm not going to get it back in a year or two. But you know, it's growing back. You know, I brush it just like a full head of hair, but it's coming back. So people, this is what we have to do. We have to start focusing on ourselves and know what it takes for you to live. But today is different. You see, so what things is people might think uh, progress, but it's all the same. It's the same. It's the same as it was back then as it is now. You know, we may we might live longer, or back then a loaf of bread may have cost 5 cents, but you was only making 50 cents an hour or $1 an hour. But now a loaf of bread costs you $6, $7 when you're making when you're making 12, $15 an hour. So what's the difference? Probably the same. You know, uh, if you don't, if you're not productive in life, okay, if you're not doing anything, I mean, even anything, if you're not doing anything in life, then you gotta, or then why are you living? I think everybody needs a purpose. Everybody needs a purpose. Everything has a purpose. And family is so important, so important. And we have abandoned families. A lot, not all of us, but so many of us have. And we need that in tight times, when times are hard. We need family to come together and work together. This can be so easy, so much easier. Because at the end of the day, it's all about living, being around your loved ones, being happy, stress free, you know, being able to put food on the table, take a trip to it. I mean, that's that you can do that. But when you out here calling yourselves, oh well, I'm gonna get out of school, I'm gonna go ahead and get my own apartment, I'm gonna do it. Fine if well, I wouldn't even say it's fine, but if that's what you want to do, you do it. But that's gonna cost you today. You ain't getting $80,000 a year. You're not making $80,000 a year. You're gonna have a hard time. Because when you make 80,000 right away, that's not 80,000, 80,000. What's that, maybe 60 if you're single? You get apartments and stuff like that. That costs, $1,500, $2,000 a month. Car insurance, you know. Oh man, it's a nut. What's living at home? You're living at home. That's what they did back in the day. That's why they had all these big houses. You living at home, you ain't paying no $2,000 a month. All everybody chipping in, you might be paying 300. You ain't got all these bills. Everybody chipping in. You don't have all these bills. So now you don't save enough money to go around the world if you want to. But you have money to save, to invest. Look out for your future and the future of your children. You'll never have anything constantly always spending your money. Never, 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 never. That's why they said, I read in the paper, they said when people come to this country, say if you want to make some money, set your business up in the black community. That's what I'm look. That's what I've been hearing. And when I look around, it seems to be the truth. 'Cause I had a friend of mine that I think I've said this before. A friend of mine owned a expensive eyeglass shop, and I just happened to go in one day looking. He was chatting, and I picked up this pair of sunglasses. Now they was like $2,500. I told him, I said, man, I said, rich people must buy these sunglasses. You know what his response was? No, they don't. He said, the poor people come in and buy them. He said, that's the reason they don't have any money. They hit me like a ton of bricks. He's absolutely 100% right. That's why you will never have anything if you're constantly spending your money. Then if you don't work together, if we hate one another, then you're never gonna have anything. That's what that beating for them black police officers on that blackboard. That's the same. That's your brother. You beat that boy like he was trying to kill y'all. That's the mentality, and we got to get beyond that. We have got to get beyond that. And I had to. I was forced to come and talk about that. And at the end of the day, we have got to change our whole way of thinking and let our way of thinking, our thoughts, and our ideas manifest in our environment. And those things, that spirituality, you know, call it what you may, but it comes from God. It's a spiritual way of thinking. And I see it. I see it being manifested today more and more because people are waking up. They're waking up and they're getting tired of seeing and hearing the BS coming from these leaders, these politicians. They're tired of it. And we need to do something to really help. And it's helping everybody. It's even helping the politicians that they do this. For the life of me. You know, they do things, they're playing games. They're playing games. Because at the end of the day, the rich owns everything anyway. This is a system. And the system that was created by them is a good system. But you got to have laws, and these laws have to be obeyed, and no one is above the law. And these people running things have to be in check. If they break the law, then let them go to jail. And until you do that, you're never going to get this government in line. You're not, because it's a disgrace. It's a slap in the face to every human being that lives a life that's trying to do the right thing. It's a slap in the face to everybody that you done locked up in jail for breaking the law. And you're gonna have these criminals that come in and do what they do and walk free and be a con man and then get elected to Congress. And you know it. What do you think that's doing to the consciousness of the humans? And I mean, absolutely, we need to space. I don't know where it is, but it's crazy. This whole thing is crazy, and the future has me really, really kind of. I don't even know how long the planet's gonna last, really, because we're doing too much, and we're doing too much, and we're doing it too fast. I don't know what the rush is. We're not going anywhere unless the rush is the fact that the planet itself is in jeopardy of survival, which very well could be, and we don't know about it, you know. And people that's in outer space now, okay, what happens is, you really want to think about it. What happens is when they're talking about aliens in outer space, okay, the aliens in outer space could very well be the people that's going to be in the colonization of space now when they're building all these these homes in outer space and space rockets and all that people develop in space around in a weightlessness environment where their bodies is going to be thin with long arms, long fingers, and big heads. Oh man, I did not want that. Mm, I'll save that for another. Mm.